Welcome to the Pic-a-Flic podcast spooky Halloween month of reviews. Please sit back and enjoy the show as the Western Wonder gives you his take on several horror movies, both old and new. And now, please welcome the Western Wonder.
Thank you, announcer guy who suspiciously sounds like me. To kick off this month of horror reviews, I wanted to start with something light and quick to cover, as well as a film that released early on this year that has been on my bucket list up until this point. I'll be covering Osgood Perkins' latest feature, The Monkey, a film adapted from the mind of one Mr. Stephen King, who has been on the road this year with film adaptations of his work between this, The Life of Chuck, The Long Walk, and The Running Man. Where will this film hold up for yours truly? Well, stay tuned, but first, a rundown of the plot for listeners that are unfamiliar with the film. Strap in. The film follows twin brothers Hal and Bill. While Hal is the more nerdy and timid brother, Bill is the more cocky and stubborn one. The two are raised by a single mother after their deadbeat father does the classic going out for cigarettes, milk, and coming back trick, but unlike many absent father figures out there, he did leave the kids something that they'll always cherish. Let's ask the spirit of Alistair Beck what that could be. What is money? What is GTA 6? Okay, I'm gonna have to throw a wild card pick here. What is a toy monkey? Third time's always a charm. The purpose of this monkey is that, after turning his key, it plays his drum, and after a staggering silence, someone gets killed. Rinse, wash, and repeat. An unsuccessful Cain and Abel-like attempt on Hal's part ends up with the estranged brothers drifting apart and going their separate ways. Until a string of deaths, including a family member, reels them back in, and it leaves a perplexed Hal with more than he could ever bargain for. For anyone expecting hardcore horror in this film, I'm here to tell you this right now off the bat. It's not that. I went into this movie blind, and that includes not watching any of the trailers in full, so I was not expecting how humorous this movie would end up being. After the first couple of kills, I immediately thought of Final Destination. Gruesome death after death occurs, but in this movie's case it's even funnier. Maybe it's the cartoonish reactions from the victims upon impact, or the abrupt cuts to someone's funeral. But either way, it's wild. While the movie pulls a pump fake by being more of a horror comedy, the gore is still very plentiful. For instance, one character gets a prolonged sequence that has you at edge. I wish that I could otherwise say that about the other aspects about the plot. Yeah, so this is the same director behind Longlegs, a movie that I was struggling to follow through. And while this movie gave me something to enjoy, the pacing and side conversations are pretty dull. But what can you expect with these kinds of movies? Then you have the characters. They come and go just as frequently as the monkey appears, but the main twin characters of Hal and Bill stand out. While the adult age of performance from Theo James was well done, I was extremely impressed with the younger dual performance from Kristen Convery, one of the prominent kid actors from Cocaine Bear. You'd think that two completely different child actors played the twins, but no. To my surprise, it's just him. So kudos to him for the dual role. I think he has a very promising career ahead. As for the other characters, Tatiana Maslany was good as the mother of the twins, and a very interesting character that I felt could have been expanded on more. Her "nobody is long for this world, so expect the unexpected" vibe was so interesting because underneath that she still is a very upbeat figure. Also in the mix is Colin O'Brien as Petey, Hal's estranged son, Rohan Campbell, my guy from the clusterfuck that was Halloween Ends as Ricky, a brash kid with soul ties to the monkey, and brief appearances from Adam Scott as the twins' father, and Elijah Wood as the husband of Hal's ex-wife. But how could I go about these names without mentioning the monkey itself? Now listen, the only fictional monkey that I could ever trust with my life is Curious George, and this movie just proves that point of being wary of these things. Ever since Toy Story 3, I was put off by the notion of toy monkeys, and something about the design of this creature looked visually realistic, especially with the teeth, that it feels like it could have been ripped off of actual human skin. It really makes you wonder what kind of episode in the Goosebumps-like universe could have been like. Overall, on the Pic-a-Flic rating scale, I'll give The Monkey a respectable 3 out of 5. While the kills are effective in the most absurd way possible, there's really not much to say beyond this. It's really just dumb fun anchored by its gore and inspired performances from the actors playing the twins. If you like funny horror, then this might be the movie for you, but if not, I'd probably say stick it on in the background while you finish your daily Wordle or folding your laundry. Next on the Spooky Month lineup is my review for the 70s feature film Blackula, featuring one of the coldest brothers to ever set fangs on the big screen. That's what's coming up, so in the meantime, if you'd like to be in the know from when new episodes are out, make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to said show, and tell a friend to tell another friend who knows another friend at the block to check out the pod. All support and feedback is appreciated. If you're listening on YouTube and you enjoyed this episode, make sure you smash that like button, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. And also, if you want to follow the show on social media, we can be found on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok under the username handle at Pic-a-Flic Pod. That is at PICAFLICPOD. If review logging is your thing, then you may be familiar with Letterboxd, where you can also find non-audio exclusive reviews that I do under the aforementioned Pic-a-Flic Pod username handle. So be sure to follow me there if you use that platform. Once again, thank you all for tuning in as always, and until the next one, this is the Western Wonder, signing out. Peace.
Bye, have a great time.